Hi, my name's Shane Green and welcome back to our Culture Hacker series. Today I want to talk to you about onboarding. In my last video we talked about the difference between orientation and onboarding, how you're setting your new employees up for success. Now when we talked about orientation we said it's generally the first day or 2 days on the job. Once you get past that, you move into the onboarding process. It can be anywhere from 30, 60 to 90 days. It's all about certifying and ensuring that your new employee can do the job. Now the problem is that when these new employees get handed over to their departments, everything starts to go south. And we rely and fall back onto that sink or swim strategy where we throw them on the front line to see if they're going to last. And unfortunately, as I've said all along, that's a terrible waste of talent. So what are some of the things I'm going to look for in your onboarding process? Well, the first thing I look for is, are you ready and organized for your new employee? Is the computer ready to go? Do they have their email address set up? Do they have the tools to do the job? Is their workplace set up for success? Are their business cards ready? You see, all of these are indicators of whether or not you're prepared. And we talk to so many employees who tell us that after the first couple of days when they get handed over to their departments, no one even knew they were turning up. And quite honestly, when you do that, you really set a bad expectation and unfortunately a really sad mindset for your new employees. So be ready for them and be organized. And by the way, give them a little welcome card. Let them know that you're really excited for them to be a part of your team. The second thing I look for is who's going to be their mentor. You know, that person that's going to take them under their wings for the first couple of days. Maybe do some introductions, walk them around a little bit, and basically set them up. Now remember, these new employees have lots of questions, but because they're new, they don't often ask them. So think about giving them or partnering up with someone that is going to be there to help them along the way is a really good part of the onboarding process. The third thing we look for is the training program. This is the certification of skills that they need to be able to do their job. And every position is going to be different. What's not different are the 4 things I look for in your training program. Having trained and been involved in training programs for the last 20 years, I can tell you that these 4 elements are absolutely critical. First of all, who's going to do the training? And managers, before you put up your hand and say that you're going to do it, stop. You're not the best people to do the new onboarding or the training for your new employee. Why? Because you got too many things on your mind. Ideally, this would be a best in class or a true expert and one of your best employees. Someone that can take the time to truly show someone what needs to happen. The second thing I look for is, where is training going to occur? It's really important because you see, if you're going to do all this training out on the front line, maybe in front of customers, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, guaranteed the employee is going to make mistakes. So therefore, customers will get frustrated. And the second thing that happens is, know that when your employee gets beaten up by a customer in those first few days, it really puts their mindset in heading in the wrong direction. So create an environment initially where they can do some learning, make some mistakes, maybe creating up a space where they can practice, do some role playings, but the where is important. What about when? When is training going to occur? Obviously, it can vary by time and date, so set a schedule out, an agenda of where the new trainee needs to be, what is going to be covered, and let them know that there's an expectation of learning. And that's the 4th thing, that what you're going to train. The more details you give me about what's going to get covered in that first 30 or 60, 90 days, it lets me know that you're prepared, you're organized, and you're truly vested in setting that new person up for success. So think about all 4 elements. In terms of that onboarding process, the final piece that I'd like to see is a feedback mechanism. Listen, if you're going through the first 30, 60, 90 days, check in with that new staff member. Check in to see how they're doing, whether or not those promises you made in orientation are in fact being kept. I would say that it's a mixture of formal and informal conversations. Formally, maybe in some type of survey, maybe at the 60-day mark, but make sure these informal conversations by an independent party, someone who's not involved directly in the training or the department, is happening. It's critical to check in on those new staff members, letting them know that you care. Listen, if I can tell you one thing I see today is that please invest in a great onboarding process. I think it's a real weakness in many companies today. And as a result, we see and hear and research suggests that many employees in that first 30 days are making the decision about whether or not you're the right employee to stay with. So understand, when we have so much turnover, almost 50% of all turnover happens in the first 12 months. Quite honestly, it's because that we're not orienting and onboarding our people successful. So thanks very much. We'll see you again next time. Cheers.